What is up, guys? Fred here. At the time I'm recording this, it's the TD's release date today. I've come to realize that not that many people know what that new nation's gonna bring to the game, so I figured why not have a look at that new TD together and talk about the top 10 cards that can improve this one right out of the box. On October 22nd, it's actually gonna be this new nation's first full booster set. A bunch of new ride lines are gonna be introduced, and the one in the trial deck is pretty fun to play. It's actually I believe the most diverse one. Like, you can mix up a lot of stuff in there, so I thought that this top 10 could be kind of interesting. So yeah, if you're interested, at the end of this video I'll include my personal Kairi deck list, and if you're doing anything different, let me know in the comments. I'm curious and I'm always interested in growing my Vanguard knowledge. And here it is, the Ahoy Lyrical Trial deck with Kairi on the cover. Notice that this time it says Trial deck and not Start deck, which would explain the price tag on these ones. Introducing the Lyrical Monasterio Nation, the grade one from the right line on the side. And at the back of it, we got the big whale carrying the whole nation, like in real life. So what is Lyrical Monasterio? It is an academic city on the back of a gigantic flying whale where idols and idol candidates have gathered from all over the world, which would explain why there are dragon girls, cat girls, vampires, and angels this time that are included, and they're not just mermaids anymore, which to me makes the nation more appealing. There are power counters, which I didn't know they would include in this one. I'm pretty stoked about these. And on the other side, we got the grade 2 from the right line. So let's crack it open now. First thing you see would be the power counter on top. Well, I guess the second one's on the bottom, probably. Yep. So that's the whole content of the box. Here's the second one: 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K. I really like the light blue. And of course we have the use. And now the most interesting part, Kairi's deck. You have 3 random hollows aside from Kairi included in there, and there's also a chance of you getting a SP, which I believe, because I've been told that it would the ratio was 1 SP per box of decks, not carton but box, like a display. I mean, like a display of 6 decks. Let's have a look inside. We won't bother too much on every single card, because aside from Kairi and her ride line, there's pretty much, well, and the triggers of course, there's pretty much only one other card actually that will be still played out of the box. Kairi first. When this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1, choose up to 2 of your rear guards and return them to your hand. Then auto Vanguard Circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attack. If you Persona Road this turn, choose up to 2 cards from your hand and call them to rear guard circles in different rows. Just a reminder that rows are this way. These are columns, so you can't call to 2 empty front row circles. Then the grade 2 from the right line. Her skills: auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks, choose one of your rear guards and you may return it to your hand. Then continuous rear guard circle. During the battle this unit is boosted. This unit gets plus 5k. So you'll see that the grade 1 will call a card on the previous turn, so with her you will get the chance to bounce it back to your hand, which is pretty much the whole Bermuda mechanic we had back in the day. The grade 1 from the right line. Nanami. Auto. When this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, you may choose a grade 1 or less card from your drop and call it to rear guard circle as rest. So basically that means that you'll call the card you ditched for her as the right chain cost, as the right deck cost, sorry. Auto, when this unit is placed on rear guard circle, this unit gets plus 2k until end of turn, which is a skill you probably won't ever use. Then there's Calfee. I kind of liked her at the beginning when she was first revealed, but there are better cards to run than her. Couple copies of her. We got Licorice, which is just your usual vanilla card. I like that this one has a question mark in its name. Slight Slump. Apella. Then there's Hanael, which is a really cute perfect guard, but it doesn't have the recent effect of playing it for free when you have 1 or less cards in hand. So unfortunately she'll be tossed out of the deck as well. And then, see ya. That's the girl you'll keep from this trial deck. Her skill: when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, cost Soul Blast 1. Look at the top card of your deck and call it to an open rearguard circle or put it into your hand. If you put it into your hand, choose a card from your hand and discard it. This one will still be played because if you call her during the battle phase thanks to Kairi's ability to your back row, then you can proc her skill and potentially call another card from the top of your deck to your front row circle. So this way you have 2 new units in your front circles, which will give you another extra attack. So despite the 3k, it's a really useful card. We got our full playset of her, the Critical Metal over trigger, and we have Kairi's crits, and Saskia, the draw trigger, Pelagia, the front trigger. Unfortunately, Lyrical doesn't have the 20k shields front triggers, which is disappointing. Then Konami, the heal triggers, the Whales World Wild Special Live Tour, which is a set order card, but that you won't play because it's way too expensive. And then comes our potential foils. Let's see what we got. No Kairi SP. Our first foil is the grade 2 from the ride line, which is pretty cool. Then a grade 1 from the ride line. No starter foil though. Per aside, we got all of the ride line foil, which is pretty cool. And then our critical trigger and our heal trigger. So no SP, I guess. Still, these are some pretty decent foils to get. And to correct what I said earlier, we can realize now that it's 3 total foil cards, but still pretty neat though. Now let's have a chat on how to make this girl better. First up, our number 10 actually comes with 2 cards because we're talking about Willista's Ride Line. Grade 1 Willista skill: when this unit is rode upon, cost: put a card from your hand into your soul. Search your deck for up to 1 gem card, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. Then auto rearguard circle: when you play an order, cost Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets power plus 5k until end of turn, but we won't use that one. Then her grade 2 skill: auto Vanguard circle, once per turn. When you play a gem card, draw a card, which is the only one we'll use. The ride line from the TD is actually pluses 1, which is always good in a card game, but this deck in particular needs more. Willista's ride line will soul charge 2 in total, first from the grade 1 and secondly from the order that you'll play on your second turn, and it also cycles a lot since you're searching for actually an order from your deck, which will consequently help you draw into your personal ride on the following turns or drive check your triggers, which is always good. The order will actually cycle 2, which is always good for vanguards with personal riding skills. It's pretty unfortunate that Willista's the worst ride line of the new ones that are being introduced in Lyrical Melody, but I mean, if there's a way we can play these pretty gals, why not? So of course you'll have guessed that the top 9th card will be actually the Ruby order card. Its skill reads: play this with cost counterblast 1, draw 2 cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it, put this card into your soul. We just talked about it, it speaks for itself. Plus a soul, cycles into your deck for 2 cards. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's kind of a -1, but actually the grade 2 from Willista's Ride Line will replace that card since it lets you draw a card. And you'll always play it on your second turn, unless your opponent damage denies you. So yeah, if you want to spice things up a bit, adding this Ride Line as well as the Ruby will be beneficial. And our number 8 will be Ernesta. Her skill: auto back row circle. When your other ghost is placed on rearguard circle during your battle phase, then this unit. We've talked about mixing things up a bit in this one, and I've come to realize that Kairi's potential was higher when you were grabbing some elements from the other ones. And especially this one, because Kairi's skill requires your circles to be empty, and which archetype does the best at emptying your circles? The new Ghost/Vampire archetype. Spoiler alert, some of them are gonna be included in this top 10. Ernesta's skill is pretty simple, stands when there's another ghost that's being called during the battle phase, which will happen quite often thanks to Kairi's skill. It doesn't have to be called in the same column as her. Some cards in this deck require to be boosted on attacks to trigger their skill, so to have a restanding booster is actually pretty useful in this one. It's not the most effective card, but she helps a lot with your pieces, so that's why she's number 8. Then our top 7 card would happen to be Miss Ingrid. Her first skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on a rearguard circle other than from hand, countercharge 1, choose one of your other rearguards in the same column and stand it. Then her second skill, Auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit attacks, this unit gets power plus 5k until end of that battle. At the end of that battle, put this unit on the bottom of your deck. It must be put on the bottom of your deck, so mandatory skill. Another ghost, and this one's pretty forward. After she attacks, she goes to the bottom of your deck, which is mandatory, so it empties your circle, which is really good in this one. And also, if you happen to trigger her first skill by calling her from the top of your deck with Sia, I mean, free counter charge is always welcome, right? Next up at number 6 is Annalise. Her skill, Auto Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked while boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul, choose one of your rearguards, and it gets power plus 5k until end of turn. Annalise is another one that's part of the ghost archetype, so if we're looking at it, she empties a circle, she builds up soul, she's a ghost, so she helps trigger some other skills. No reason not to play her. Then at number 5 comes our beater card, Eleanor. Her skill, Auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit attacks, cost Soul Blast 2, and this unit gets power plus 15k until end of that battle. At the end of that battle, put this unit on the top of your deck. She requires 2 soul to activate a skill, so that's why the soul building, thanks to Willista's Ride Line, and Annalise is pretty useful for this one. She goes to the top of your deck, so if you happen to call something during your battle phase that will call also the top card of your deck, I mean, she's a great hit to get. The plus 15k really helps, seeing as she probably won't be boosted during her battle, but yeah, another ghost that comes to help. Then obviously at number 4 would be the over triggers. All of their additional effects are during this fight. You get during your turn, all of your rear guards get power plus 10k. Plus 10k on your whole board, especially in a deck that multi-attacks.
A nightmare for the opening.
Then at number 3 would be the new perfect guards. In a deck that's not plussing that much and that's running kinda low on hand because of a certain card calling cards from hand during the battle phase, the free PG comes pretty handy. And at number 2 is of course an additional critical trigger. I mean, critical triggers have always been the best trigger, and especially in a deck that multi-attacks, the earlier you can apply crit pressure or you can get some free damage and push your opponent up to 5, they'll have to guard every attack. So yeah, most definitely get some more crits. And our numero uno is Kairi's soul specific support card, Brilliance and Elegance Aerith. Her skill reads as Auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit attacks while boosted, if your vanguard is Aestis Kairi, cast Counterblast 1, choose up to 1 card from your hand and call it to an open rearguard circle. I mean, so far she's what the deck needed. She can allow the deck to do 7 attacks in a single turn. I mean, if the opponent's at 5, this is gonna be pretty lethal. So yeah, I hope that helped. Have an amazing day guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.